So Kamala Harris and Tim Walz head out on a bus tour across the state of Georgia. And despite the latest polling showing that Trump is in the lead by a lot, look at that in the state of Georgia, Harris's campaign co-chair says that they think they still have a path to victory in the Peach State.
We really think that we have a chance to win to Georgia, and they're going to compete there in a very hard way. And we're going to make Donald Trump defend every ounce of ground in America.
So here to react is Fox News contributor and host of Here's the Deal on Fox Nation, Kellyanne Conway. Hey, Kellyanne.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I know there's 7 important swing states, and Donald Trump has to win Georgia and North Carolina. The votes can be a combo of the other states if he wins these 2. Kamala's campaign is saying that they think they have a chance in Georgia, and we know Kemp and Trump, they're united now. What do you think? Do they have a chance?
Likely not, but we take every vote in every swing state seriously. On our side, this is 16 electoral votes. President Trump won the state by 5 points in 2016, and that was followed by 2 governor's races, 2018 and 2022, where Brian Kemp, the sitting governor, beat Stacey Abrams despite her very successful effort to register hundreds of thousands of new voters. And I think that helped in 2020, even when she wasn't on the ballot. Look, this is very simple. Governor Kemp was on Hannity last week. President Trump followed it up with an immediate social media post. They're burying the hatchet. They're working together to get those 16 electoral votes. I don't understand why Kamala Harris just took 5 days off, I guess a little staycation in between the convention and campaigning. She just took 5 days off between Thursday and Tuesday, and now she's showing up with Tim Walz in Georgia. Meanwhile, Trump and Vance have their own separate schedules. Vance will be in Erie, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin on his own. That's what you want to do. You want to focus on those 21 counties, a few of which are in Georgia. 7 swing states, Ainsley, but 21 counties. So in Georgia, they now have voter ID for absentee ballots. That's required. Georgia does a fantastic job of taking the early vote, having it ready to go, and then laying it over the day of vote, calculating and telling us, voila, who the winner is on the actual day. I think that's incredibly important. This is all about knocking on doors, canvassing, making sure that the voter rolls are clean, election integrity. I think Brian Kemp and his team have done a great job on that. And then it's, of course, President Trump. He's out there. He's been going to Georgia. He and J.D. Vance are in Georgia. You have to show up, and they are doing the work in the swing states. They're giving local print, radio, and television interviews. Those can last full on a week when you're running for president and vice president. People appreciate you touching them close to home.
Yeah, I saw one of his latest ads where she's saying, oh, prices are so high at the grocery store. And then the next clip is, but we love Bidenomics. It's so successful. Then she complains about another price. But we love Bidenomics. She's flip-flopping. She's changing her policies, we think, according to her campaign and background. But we don't really know what her policies are. And now Axios is reporting that there's possibly not enough time for her. Her campaign is saying there might not be enough time to release these policies. And Donald Trump is saying she's trying to change the debate rules, even though they've already agreed. Listen to this. Do we have that soundbite of Donald Trump? Here it is.
Keep the same rules. Now all of a sudden they want to make a change in the rules because she can't answer questions. Why doesn't she do a couple of question answer? Why doesn't she do something like I'm doing right now? She can't talk. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate.
How do you interpret it, Kellyanne?
Well, there's no question that they don't trust Kamala Harris enough to speak regularly. This is amazing to me. They're so excited about a woman, and the sexists and misogynists at her campaign aren't allowing the woman to travel alone or speak on her own extemporaneously to members of the media. Have a town hall. Don't be afraid to take questions. They can make it as friendly as the pep rally that was the Democratic convention if they want to. But free Kamala already. Let her out. Let us hear from her. And Ainsley, it's, let's get past the laughs and the gaffes and get serious here. When she does tell us what her vision are, what her vision is, when she does promise these policies, that's when she gets truly frightening. 65% estate and death tax, that's going to decimate family businesses up and down this country. 44% on capital gains, and then the unrealized gains being taxed. Donald Trump is preparing for dates every single day by doing things like he does yesterday, facing the cameras, showing everybody the real people impact at the border, of the grocery and gas prices, and she's not doing it. Let me tell you something. If you're not practicing those muscles, if you don't have that muscle memory for debates, you can't just show up and have people stuff your head with that. Joe Biden didn't just lose that debate 2 months ago. Donald Trump won it, and he can do that again against Kamala Harris.
I hear she's prepping a lot. Really quickly, is Donald Trump prepping?
He preps every day. You see him out there. He faces the music. He's talking about policy. I think the last 10 days have been remarkable for Trump and Vance. They're out there with these themes in the swing states, talking about policy, crime, the border, inflation, economy, foreign policy. That's the way you prepare.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the lighting and the camera angles. He does policy time with lots of people, but he's been doing this, and the debates are his sweet spot.
We know his policies. We don't know hers. All right, the debate, maybe that's when we'll get some answers. Thank you so much, Kellyanne. Here's the deal with Kellyanne is available now on Fox Nation, and catch new episodes every Thursday.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.